Hey guys, this is the Ecron Writer here, welcoming you to another vlog. And I'm still very pissed off in Japan lately about its imperialistic abuse and neglect on the capybaras, especially at Aso farmland and the Nagasaki Biopark, which some people call it Biohazard Park, but yeah, I'm still so pissed off about that. But there are like two other parks that aren't as bad, like Sodeguara, and another one that I just came across recently, earlier today. I forgot the name of it, but I guess I'll show you, like, once this vlog is done. Anyway, I guess happy early Halloween, happy early Day of the Dead to you all. I don't celebrate Day of the Dead, but I think it's only fair to celebrate both holidays. So, ever since I did my undead characters, you know, with Hanzo, Numbskull, and all that shtick, I thought it might just be as honorable. We all got honored the dead, we all got loved ones that are lost, including pets. And I just hope it's not too late to save the capybaras. One is elderly donut, one has arthritis, a lot of malnutrition, and I've been trying to notify the new Prime Minister of Japan, Sanae Taikachi, and she had a meeting with Trump yesterday, hopefully to strengthen the alliance, but I kept telling her that another way to strengthen the alliance is not just military operations, because we got U.S. troops operating in Japan, apparently. And it's not just that, it's also, you know, giving compassion to animals, because they virtually have no animal laws at all. And a lot of their zoos are rated E for evil, as I'd like to call it, rather than just failures. I know G is the worst, but still, to me, E reminds me of F, like in a report card. It's just as bad. So I hope she'll change all that. I've been trying to notify her and no such luck. No response, nothing. I guess they love doing nothing, I guess. Imperialists. Anyway, on my final thoughts on Mortal Kombat Legacy Kollection, I think it's just a ploy because Mortal Kombat 2, the movie, was postponed until May. But all of a sudden, I guess they got most of the bugs fixed. Or so-called bugs, I don't believe it. But it's coming out a week earlier than anticipated. Like May 7th, May 5th or something, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not too crazy about that, but I think the release of the Legacy Kollection, which on the day of recording, it's actually tomorrow, Mischief Night, the day before Halloween, which is coincidental with the Simpsons game, actually. But I think it's just a publicity stunt to make up for the failure, the delayed release of the film. I know it's Digital Eclipse's decision. It's not entirely Woker Bros' decision, so thank God for that. Thank the Elder Gods for that. I hate those bastards. I hope they are breaking up. I hope they are selling Mortal Kombat, so the rumors say. But, the Legacy Kollection, it's going to be released on Mischief Night, but what doesn't make sense is that it's releasing Special Forces and Mythologies, which is like their worst in history, aside from 2023, of course. And yet, they have Mortal Kombat Gold as DLC. Why? They're releasing every other version of MK4. Why the hell do they have to have DLC for MK Gold? It never makes any sense to me. because I always referred to Mega Man X Collection, by Capcom. Mega Man X Collection had every single Mega Man X game except maybe X8, but that was a total failure anyway. It always reminded me of the Mega Man X Collection. I think it's on like PlayStation Network, but I think Xbox Arcade. I don't care for that much. I never cared for Xbox, but it also came out for GameCube and PlayStation 2. And the PlayStation 2, I actually mentioned it in my top 15 PS2 games. But it always takes me back to Mega Man X, the collection, because it had virtually everything in one go except X8, but yeah, it's a failure anyway. But it never made any sense, as every version of MK4, mythologies, and special forces. No MK Gold. Like, what the hell are you guys thinking? What the hell are they thinking?
What were they thinking?!
Like, Digital Eclipse, it's really lacking on that regard, especially with those damn journalist rumors, those fakers. Just like those shillers are fakers, like true underdog. But, if it's the case, if it's the same case as, like, say, Kombat Packs with DLC, because they always do that, the way I see it, I think it's gonna be, like, Kombat Pack 2 could be the 3D era, even though MK4 is like 2.5, thanks for that info, by the way, Fate. It's not entirely 3D, unless you look at the cutscenes, but it's always 2D. And gameplay, yeah, there's 3D effects at times, but I think it's 2.5D like mythologies, but, Kombat Pack 2 could be the 3D era, and I think it's like a quarter of it now, like we're getting. Kombat Pack 3 would be the NRS era, with the second pack ending with, MK versus DC, because it was the last hurrah from Midway, and little did we know, 2008 was a horrible year. It was a horrible fiscal year. It was like it was the Great Recession. It was the stock market crashes, and the real estate crashes, the housing crashes, the repercussions of the writers' strikes that year prior in 2007. I didn't know that. I didn't know all that until much later. I didn't know any of this, and that was why back in 2007, 2008, I had that competition in Votech known as DECA, D-E-C-A, and it's supposed to help you with job shadowing and all that. But I had two competitions when I was in Votech. The first year was, it was festive. It was a real field trip to Cherry Hill. And yeah, it was great. It was grandiose. But 2008, following that year, it was little to nothing. We didn't go anywhere. It was a very, very small, there wasn't really much of a competition at all. It was literally still at the school with just a few judges. But I got second place either way. And a classmate got first place. And he was able to go to nationals. I think it was the same year, later in 2008 in Florida. I don't know how he did there, but, that was the state competition. No, nationals. It was the nationals competition. The one before was state, the one before was regionals, but regionals was like grandiose. But everything seemed to tone down in 2008. And in 2008, we have MK versus DC. I stopped following Keanu, I stopped following Chris Evans because the movie sucked. Like, oh my god, you could notice it everywhere. I didn't know it was from the writer's strike repercussions or the terrible fiscal year. It wasn't just Midway suffering, even though Armageddon is a rush job. You could see Final Combat for that, or my retrospective, but the point being, I see it in quarters, the collection. Like, we're getting quarter 1, the arcade era, because I don't think they have MK Gold, because it was on Dreamcast. The second quarter would be Kombat Pack 2 with, the 3D era, MK Gold. Maybe get rid of the DLC, that would be a better idea. And ending in MK vs. DC. The third quarter would be the NRS era, which I really hate the most. I fucking hate it. You can look it up. You can look it up on various videos how much I fucking hate it. And it would start with MK9, it would start with end with MK 2023, the so-called deluxe edition. Oh god, and the system crash. Please let it be a system crash and a nightmare. A trippy nightmare. And maybe have it with MK11, the next game with MK11, Liu Kang training the Great Kung Lao. The perfect ending, actually. I did that in my one-shot contentment, so you could do it. Oh my god. And the last quarter, because I'm sure the third quarter, the second quarter is going to take up a lot of space because of stupid terabytes developing it, even though it might be a copy-paste job. Like, how hard is that, really? I'm not a programmer, but I think it's just a basic copy-paste. And yeah, there's the miscellaneous extras, like artwork and all that. I'm not into that. But the fourth quarter would be miscellaneous. It would be like the movies, the shows, any outside media, whatever is left, any oddments. I'm pretty sure that's not going to take up a lot of space. So, I see it as quarters, but I think the farthest we might have gotten was probably supposed to be Kombat Pack 3, probably for the Dominic's failed experiment, and we never... No, wait, we never got Kombat Pack 2. Oh, wait, we never got Kombat Pack 3, did we? Yeah, I think it's just 2 max that we got. But anyway, and I guess maybe include Injustice as an oddment for like Kombat Pack 3, the third quarter. Because, Injustice 3, rumor has it, is going to be the next project. But like I said, I guess have Raiden as Richard Epcar again because he's so iconic to miss. I never liked the new one at all, ever. Especially in Onslaught. I think Onslaught should be in the third quarter, along with Injustice. But with Injustice 3, it should be Raiden, it should be Fusion, it should be Lord Liu Kang, particularly in MK11 and Aftermath, and Onslaught maximum. And maybe include the, whatchamacallits, the upgrades, like with Fusion and Onslaught. That would be awesome. Maybe Titaness Katana, too. Exclusive in MK11 in the perfect ending. That would be awesome. So, yeah, that's the latest project, but I think Injustice and Onslaught would be like the third quarter, and the fourth quarter would be miscellaneous. Defenders of the Realm, Conquest, the original movie, Annihilation, MK Legends, The Journey Begins, which was atrocious, so I've heard. I'm not going to bother with that. Yeah, all that crap, even behind the scenes even. or even extra scenes like... I had a friend of mine, Ryu Kang, who said that on the DVDs or Blu-ray or whatever, there's no special features with the original Mortal Kombat, as there should have been with the VHS and stuff like that. So I hope maybe Digital Eclipse would take note of that and just add the special features to the last quarter, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen them before, but I have saved a playlist of the special features, like behind the scenes and all that, I guess. I don't know. It should be in the last quarter, but I'm not really looking forward to it, really. I always rely on emulation, you know? And because my hobbies had changed so much since I first got into YouTube in like 2010-ish, 2011-ish, and since I started writing fanfiction, and since I started to discover Let's Plays and countdowns, the less important it seemed. The very less important. So, you know, games were starting to suck too, like Dissidia Duodecim, MK9, Shadow of the Colossus. Never cared about Metal Gear Solid and all that trash. It is trash to me, so fuck off. Those echo chambers. But yeah, ever since that era, the less important games seem to be, gameplay seem to be. Yeah, there was a fly here. But yeah, fanfiction took hold, and so did my deprived life. Ugh. God damn it. And by the way, tomorrow, as of this recording, tomorrow is my ex-stepmom's birthday. And she actually died on February 9th. I think it was last year. You know, good riddance, but I wished it was sooner. I had such a deprived life. I explained that a lot. And I think it's also the anniversary, I think it was the 13th anniversary of Superstorm Sandy. You know, you remember that one, right? If you live in Jersey, the Northeast, or Eastern U.S. in general. Oh, God, Superstorm Sandy. I'll never forget that. We were just out of power for a few days. A little bit of a flood in the basement. It was pretty big. We had a back fence collapse from a fallen tree. But we got lucky. We were out for like 2 or 3 days, but we got lucky. It could have been worse. But ever since Superstorm Sandy, you know, on Seaside, there was that miniature roller coaster. It was like a purple roller coaster. It was a small set, but I guess it collapsed and got submerged in the ocean, I guess. And even the dock was destroyed in Berkeley that my parents used to crab there. My dad and my ex-stepmom at the time. But, yeah, there's a lot of anniversaries going on, personally. And I'm not looking forward to Mortal Kombat Legacy Kollection either. 'Cause, you know, I just fell out again. I fell out like 4 times. That's why I mentioned on my witches list, with Chronica, for instance, that I dropped out for 6 years since 2015. And I never cared about that sudden change. I never cared about the last-minute decisions until Shaolin Monks brought me back in 2021. I saw Let's Play on that. It was 1 week before the live-action film, which was also a failure. And I'm not ashamed saying that it was the second Dark Ages. It really was. The 2020s. Especially 2021, 2023, even now. Onslaught shut down. Like, seriously? And one person said that Legacy Kollection could be the last hurrah of the classic era, I think they're right. I think this would be Mortal Kombat in general's last hurrah. And I don't blame them at all, because they've done a lot of bullshit. Like Woker Bros with Teen Titans Go, you could see that rant. Like, God, I've done a chronology. I could do better than this. Dominic is retarded. Swear to God, so is Spoony Booney. That real Spoony Bard. We gotta get Tobias back. If Tobias... 'cause he cares about his creations more than anyone else. If we can get Tobias back from his leaving since Special Forces in 1999, if we can get Tobias back and have Mortal Kombat function independently, like with Midway or Outworld Studios, that would be awesome. Then it would make Mortal Kombat great again. The others are just assholes. They're retarded assholes. Probably Democrats, too. You could look up that rant, like I said. Yeah, there's not much time for the capybaras. Donut, especially. He's like elderly. He's like 12 years old, has arthritis, malnourished, abused, always walking on concrete. They're webbed animals, by the way. They're like subaquatic, semi-aquatic. Ugh. Japan doesn't give a rat's ass about their animals outside of Sodeguara. Nagasaki is the worst. I can't stop thinking about it. It's like the greed with Nintendo and Squeenix. It's like the tip of the imperialistic iceberg. It really is. It just gets worse from there, from that. No animal laws. And I have no regrets at all. It won't change my mind as long as the Prime Minister doesn't do something about it. They're always so petty, like the Elder Gods themselves. Ugh. I guess that's it. I guess that's what's on my mind. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, ugh. God damn it. I wish they never existed. So, I guess that's what I have to say about that. That's all on my mind. I'm not looking forward to the Legacy Kollection at all. And I don't think neither should anyone, because of all the shit that Woker Bros has done. Nothing but shit ever since Teen Titans Go. Ever since NRS's inception. So I feel so much better, like talking it all out. So that's what a vlog is for. That's what a podcast is for. So, happy Halloween. Happy Day of the Dead to you all. I'm the Ukron Rider signing out. And I hope by next month I would be able to do my finale on my console games, as well as a marathon. So, I got a lot to look forward to on November. So, until then, see you guys later.